Well, first of all, I want to start off and just kind of summarize a little bit of Saturday. Felt like we had our chances. Thought our guys played exceptionally well. Matter of fact, I thought we played better in that game than we did in each of the prior 2 weeks when we did get the win. I thought defensively, it's the first time that we've played. Well, we gave up the yards. It was a bend and no break mentality that these guys played with. I thought collectively on the defensive side of the ball, we improved. We still had a couple two critical errors. Anytime you play against a team of that magnitude and that caliber, when you're out of your gap on 2 occasions, and just it's crazy how the ball seems to find that area, and it resulted in 2 touchdowns. But overall, we created turnovers, scored on defense, had 3 turnovers, pick 6, should have had another pick 6. You held the nation's top scoring offense to 20 points below their average. The nation's top rated passer by completing 75% of his passes to 58%, and then you held them 4 of 15 on 3rd down. So there was some positive that we'll take out of that game. Obviously, there's no we don't have moral victories here. There's no such thing as that. We're not satisfied with that loss. That's not that's not a part of this. But I did think we played well enough to win. We had our chances, and I've said it before. And proved that that night was that we can play with anybody in the country. We just can't beat SMU, and I thought we did that. Obviously, fumbling the ball going in was critical. It was a 14-point swing because then they take the ball down and go 75 yards and score. You got to give them credit. They're a really good football team. We had our chances right before half to tie the score, and we had Trey open in the end zone, and the ball just came out a little high. We missed that, and we jump off sides on 3rd down, and our 4th down field goal was a miss. And so we had some chances to take it in at half, tied, but yet came out in the second half, and we felt like that if we could continue to play with the want to and the will to that we were showing to get this team into the 4th quarter is something that nobody else has done this year. And if we could do that, we felt like maybe we could get them to press a little bit. And we had 2 chances to win the game in the final 5 minutes, and we were unable to get it done. So I'm extremely proud of our players. The resiliency that they have, the ability to continue to respond when we keep asking more of them. This is a good football team. I've said it all year long. We're not as good as we're going to be, but we're better than we've ever been, and it still holds true. We also talk about being golden in the month of November, and effort and want to and will to, and a play here and a play there. With that type of effort, we've got a lot to achieve. It's still in front of us. We still control our own destiny over the final 3 weeks of the season, and so that's exciting. But in the same sense, we know we've got a tough opponent this week as we travel to Navy, a team that's lost their last 3 games, and they've struggled in some areas and some consistency, but they're still Navy. They're very well respected, very well coached. I know they battled through some injuries and getting guys back, and having some other guys that were out of last week's game against Temple. I thought Temple played them exceptionally hard. I thought Temple played, anytime you can hold the nation's leading rusher or second leading rusher, you must be doing something right. I thought Temple had a great game plan. But again, Navy's going to play about, they're averaging playing about the opponent playing 63 snaps a game. We're averaging about 85 snaps a game right now. And so, when you score a touchdown or field goal about 1 out of every 12 or 15 snaps. And so that's definitely holding people down well below their scoring average. Their offense is averaging 33 points a game, 450 yards a game, and they got 4 returning starters. But Zach Abbey, I know he's been in and out each of the last 2 weeks. But a guy that definitely makes their whole offense work. I know they'll get back to their basics. That's what you do, That's what they're doing. They're going to go back to doing what they do and who they are. We fully expect to get their absolute best. It's the last home game. It'll be senior night for them. So we know that we're going to have to play exceptionally well. Defensively, they give up 30 points a game, and they've got 8 takeaways. They've got 8 returning starters off of last year's team. And so that's definitely something that, basically they played really well against us last year. They were also playing out here last year for a chance to host the conference championship game in week 12, and a game in which we were embarrassed at, and very disappointed in the way that we played. We played well in the first half, but the second half we couldn't get it done. And so, as I've said many times, this is about SMU. It always has been and always will be. And it's about how we play. It's about our want to and our will to. And this will be an exciting week. We're excited about the challenge because that's what it's going to be, a huge challenge and for this team. But also shows that entering your final 3 weeks of the season to be in control of your own destiny is all you can ask for, regardless of last Saturday night's outcome. So that's where we're at. I'm excited to get back out on the field today. Sunday was a great day for these guys. They hurt. There was disappointment, but it's time to regroup and move forward and take on a very tough and talented Navy team. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
You tend to look at games one by one, but with your bigger goals like winning a division and a conference still well within reach, how do you balance the message to the team to just focus on this week while keeping that bigger picture in mind?
Well, you look at it as there was a lot of hurt in that locker room Saturday night. We felt like that we had our chances and should have won a ball game. We got to play better. We got to have the opportunities present themselves. You got to be there and you got to capitalize on it. We knew that going in. They were really good, but when you come out of that game and you approach what's next, which is a one-game season. We got 3 one-game seasons left, and this is, and if you take care of them one at a time, and you do that enough, you'll reap the benefit. You'll reap the reward and control your own destiny. But and so that's really the message. These guys were disappointed. They would love another opportunity, and the only way you can get that opportunity is some things have to happen, and you've got to continue to play well. You got to be golden in the month of November. You got to have that type of effort, that type of attitude, and want to, and even more. And so there's a whole lot to play for, and taking this program to different heights. I mean, when you're 3 weeks left in the season and you can still sit and say you control your own destiny, I mean, you're doing something right. You got a good football team, and there's no doubt that we are. We're playing better, and that's we've got to continue to improve.
It's a different situation for a lot of the guys, that no one's been to a bowl before and now competing for a conference championship. You sense a level of excitement around the team?
Well, I think there's definitely a buzz all over campus. I think you saw that last Saturday night. Our crowd was better. They were into it. It was a game that went down to the final possession. So the product is there, and the product continues to improve. And so there's a buzz. It's you walk around campus as these players do, and it means something now. And so that's something that they've worked extremely hard for. So you got to continue to put in the work and the will to and the want to, and that's been our message from the start, and it's not going to change today. So this will be a great week. This will be a very physical week of practice, but at the same sense, it'll be an opportunity for our guys to be 1-0 just this week.
When you say physical week in practice, is that because of the style that Navy plays?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to play. It's going to be a physical game, and any team that has, when you look at Navy and you look at their scores, and you take week 1 out, the margin of victory and defeat has only been 10 points at the tops. So the games they're winning have been close. The games that they've lost have been close. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a physical game. And in each of those games, you see that the D lines, and we've played them the last 2 years since I've been here, and you know, you've got to play physical up front. And it's going to be a physical game. They do a great job coming off the football. They do a great job of cut blocking out on the edge, and even second and third level guys. So yeah, that's something. The only way you go through that is you got to practice that. We've done that during fall camp. We've done it a few times during the course of our season. And now this week it'll be obviously all Navy all the time, and so all week long. And so these guys have seen this. They know. They also know that when you peel it all back, it's about SMU. It's about us being at our best.
So playing at somewhere like the Naval Academy is always a very unique experience, but does it mean anything different playing there on Veterans Day this weekend?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously you have great respect and admiration for those men and women that are at each and every one of our service academies, for what they do and their daily life, so to speak. Football is the easiest thing that these guys go through in a day. And so, what they do and their regiment and their routine, and then, obviously them serving our country, you got great respect for them. And as we all do, but it's a game. You're going there and you're playing a tough environment, a really neat environment to be a part of. But you as a coach and as a player, you look at it and man, we got a job to do. We got a job to do, and this is about SMU.
After the bye week, you challenged your defensive backs to step up their game, and in that time, you could argue that Rodney Clemens or Mikhail Onu have been the players of the game for your defense. Given how important the safety position is for your defense, how encouraging is it to see these sophomores progressing the way they are?
Well, it's really encouraging to see these guys step up. I mean, we did challenge them. We also challenged our linebackers. I didn't think that we've been playing very well linebacker either, outside of Kyron. I thought he's played well. Basically challenged the entire defense. Last week it was time for us to be where we want to be in the month of November. We've got to play better defensively. And I thought we played better. We still had some critical mistakes that we've got to get cleaned up. We got to get better at. And we had some missed tackles at the safety position. And against a team of Central Florida, when you play those guys and the speed that they have, and you take a bad angle, you get exposed. And that's what happened. We lost a pursuit angle. We got exposed. But overall, I thought that we played better as a collective group defensively, and that was promising. And so that's the expectations each and every week. We haven't played that well as a collective group in a couple, since week 2, in my opinion. So, especially against an opponent that Central Florida is. They're a really good football team. But it shows you also that we're a good football team too. We just got to continue to get better.
You said last night that you met with some other schools to talk about the triple option. Can you expand on that a little bit? Talk about overarching theme to stopping it.
Yeah, well, no, I can't share with you, those things and who I've spoke with and who we spoke with. But everybody in the off season, that's what you do. You try to grow your knowledge and expand and figure out what you've been doing well. We do it offensively. We do it in the special teams. We do it defensively, and so you just you get together and you talk ball. They either come here or we go there, and you spend 2 or 3 days together, sharing ideas, things that work, different practice methods, and so that's part of just growing yourself and getting better.
Everyone talks about what Navy does offensively, but what challenges do they present on the defensive side other than you already know you're going to get 1 to 2 fewer drives than you average?
Yeah, I think one of their biggest asset defensively is limiting your possessions offensively. I think that they've been an odd team. That's what they have, but they've also slid in and out of of a 4 down, and they just adjust in and out, just like everybody else does in this league. This is a predominantly odd front league, but you'll see guys shifting in and out of 4 down. They played a lot of 2 high safety last year against us, a lot more cover 2 than what they've shown. I know they've shown some cover 2 this year as well, but again, these guys play physical. They're going to, they do a good job of pressuring you, disguising their pressures, and they played a lot of zero coverage at times also. So, again, they're well coached. The staff's been together for a long time, so there's not too many things that this group, these coaches haven't seen, and they usually have answers for. So it'll be a tough, hard-fought football game, and as we said earlier, when you look at their scores, it's every game, outside of the first one has been really close.